Welcome back to the walkthrough. I'm Byron Lazine, your co-host with Eric Simon, the broke agent. Every single week, we walk you through the most trending topics that you need to know in the real estate industry. And this week, we have two of the OGs of this young show joining us. Danny Deals is back, and Taya DeCarlo looking fresh off her trip from Greece.
Looking like a Grecian goddess.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to hear all about the trip, but maybe we'll have to do a separate podcast for just the Greece trip.
Yeah, we can do a separate podcast that could maybe segue into like the future podcast that we've been talking about me doing.
That's right. So, stay tuned for
the
Taya's
people want
pod. They absolutely want. They need it. What percentage of the trip, Taya, before we get started, would you be able to share on a pod?
I would say a third.
A third. Okay. We'll take 33%. We'll try to push you for 50% in the moment. But all right, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. There's some real drama going on in Instagram. There's some drama going on with your home shoppers. There's team drama over at Douglas Elliman, and there's debate drama. So we got just a drama-filled show. Number one, Instagram is deleting accounts. Matt Leonetti's account got deleted. Paige Steckling's account got deleted. Still, as the recording of the show, those accounts are not back up. If you've been following BAM throughout the week, you know the story. I don't know, Eric, do you want to break it down and then we'll get everybody's opinion?
Yeah. Matt texted me Saturday night in understandable panic. He went to check his Instagram while watching Stranger Things. We talk about it on the Overask podcast actually on Monday, where he tells the entire story, and his account was suspended. No warning from Instagram whatsoever. Recently, he's had a ton of copycat accounts, duplicate accounts popping up, thinks that possibly has something to do with it. And then 2 days later, Paige gave me a call and said the exact same thing. She got a scary WhatsApp message asking for $500. And basically someone said they were holding her account hostage. And it's terrible. This is happening to realtors across the world. I think real estate agents are a pretty easy target because a lot of them have large followings. A lot of them are slightly older and more likely to fall for these scams. Not even that these are scams, like their accounts just got removed. And then they need these accounts for their business. So they'll pay anything, understandably, to get these accounts back. And it's terrible, all these duplicate accounts popping up. It's awful.
And to be clear, it's a hunch that it has something to do with these duplicate accounts. When Eric says duplicate accounts or imposters, everybody knows what those are by now, whether somebody's making an imposter account of yours or you've been DM'd by an imposter account where they're like talking about crypto or they're asking you to do something weird. So the belief is, this is a hunch, nobody's been able to confirm this, is that these imposter accounts now started to report potentially the real accounts of Matt and Paige, got them taken down. Paige had DMs that said, if you pay me X amount of money, I can get your account back. So that leads us to believe this bigger conspiracy that these, scammers are just, pulling one over on her, send the money, take the free money, whatever the situation is. These two accounts are down. Tay, you've had experience with this. What's your experience been?
Yeah, I mean, just this past week, I had 4 impersonator accounts where they deceive the public by making it look like it's my handle. So it'd be like at Taya DeCarlo with like 2 L's. And
Yep.
by first glance, it looks really legitimate, and they purchase their followers. So overnight, they have 13.5 thousand followers. They've taken all of my images, all of my videos, and they've uploaded them within 24 hours. So my advice to anyone who gets a request, if you follow someone like Dan or myself, and you get a follow, alert from us, and you go to that page and you're like, well, wait a minute, don't be a sucker. Like, I think one of the imposter accounts on mine had realtor spelled incorrectly. And I got phone calls, emails, DMs, text messages from people who follow me, which is so flattering that I have like a loyal fan base of people who follow me. But at the same time, this was very upsetting because I would the people who were impersonating me would block me. So I wouldn't even be able to click on the link when people would send me the imposter account. So these people are professionals. They know that
they're
we're
pros.
on it, and that if we get alerted. So what I ended up doing, and I learned this from Chelsea, if you want to put a link to her page, shout out to her. She was telling people that if you ever have an impersonating account, don't just report it. File a copyright infringement form on Instagram's help center. So when you do that, you actually put in your full name, your email address that's associated with your account, your mailing address, screenshots of these accounts. And I've even taken the people who were sending me the DMs from the imposter account where they're like trying to sell crypto and a bunch of BS. Those friends of mine and followers were sending me screenshots of that. I would upload that to the copyright infringement form. And within 72 hours, I got all 4 imposter accounts taken down.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are really sneaky pros because, I feel like it's taken me weeks and months of my life to post all of the posts that I've ever made on Instagram. If you take all that time, writing the copy, positioning the post, and they just suck it out of your account, like you said, and upload to these fake accounts in literally hours. They'll take like whoever you tagged, and there's a space between the @ and, say Dan O'Neill or whoever you've tagged in your post. They've got all these sneaky little maneuvers that these scam artists do. Dan, you were getting harassed by imposter accounts. You went ahead and made sure that your account got that cute little blue check that kind of protects you now. So have you had any trouble since the blue check on some of these imposters, and what do you want to add to this?
No. So since I have the blue check now, anytime that somebody makes an imposter account, all I have to do is just go on there through my O'Neill team or one of my burners, and I just report it. And it says like, what is the account that you're reporting it, and they're gone. But 6 months ago, I mean, I had 10 to 12 of these running rampant with 60,000 followers. They were copying my highlights. They were having conversations with girls. They followed my girlfriend's sister before I even knew who my girlfriend's sister was. It was pretty remarkable what they were doing. And I told this story on Overask. I finally, enough was enough. And right before I had lost my account, they were doing the whole crypto thing in the DMs. And I had sold my house, and the agent that was the buyer's agent came to the final walkthrough and was like, "Hey man, you have that $500?" Like, what are you talking about? He's like, "Yeah, well, we were talking earlier on Instagram. Like, I gave you 500 in Bitcoin, and you said you were going to give me 500. I'm like, pull it up. He's like, "Yeah, it's Dan O'Neill." So now everyone in my market jokes around and calls me Dan O'Neill because this fake account was running around just DMing, everybody. But and then another funny story too is I came into my office the other day, and my assistant thought she was having like a heart-to-heart, deep conversation with Byron in her DMs. And Byron's
I remember this
account was asking my assistant for money, and my assistant Venmo'd your fake account money. Like they had like a 36-hour conversation.
I'm sorry. Why are people so stupid? No offense to your assistant, but like, come on.
In her defense, she is 60 years old. She has no idea whether or not Byron is real, fake. Like, there's 15 fake Byrons right now. So Byron, you owe Sue $500.
Well, Dan probably thought I was sucking money out of her for the Tiburon in Naples or something. I don't know.
Byron, I just want to reiterate how horrible this is. Like, we all joke about how important Instagram is. This is people's businesses. This is my business.
So Paige, 80% of her business, she said.
Yeah, she called me and said she had one of her biggest listings that she just got, and the seller was probably looking for her to promote this listing on her Instagram.
Yeah,
Matt's Instagram, it's all referrals. He doesn't do cold calls. He doesn't door knock. Our podcast is promoted through Matt, is promoted through me. If this type of stuff happens, it is destructive to our careers. And another thing, Byron, like you said, they just download all this stuff. This has taken 7 years of growth, like for me with the broke agent. And thankfully this hasn't happened yet. I feel like it will. But I mean, this is hours, 5-6 hours a day of DMs, comments, posts that build this. And it could be just taken away, with the snap of a finger. It is horrifying. And it's got to get self-fixed. People are just going to bounce off Instagram because this is crazy.
It's interesting. It does seem like they target personal accounts more than account like the broke agent account, for example.
Well, it's easier to replicate, I think. I mean, the broke agent is the broke agent. If there's the broke, with 2 E's or something, then I think people would recognize that more. But if you have Matt.Leonetti or Matt Leonetti with 2 I's, like that stuff gets lost. I got confused as Derek Gregory followed Broke Agent Media. And I was like, why'd you unfollow us? He's like, dude, I didn't. That was an imposter. So even I got tricked. because I just glanced at it quickly. I'm not, thinking about this. Now I am actively.
Well,
But-
and Instagram and Facebook's help center it's worse than Uber. Like they're
Yeah.
the all-time worst. And when it happened to me, I mean, I thought I was going to be working at Chick-fil-A the next day because me and Eric joke about it all the time. Like I'm one click away, I'm one WhatsApp message away from giving somebody my password accidentally or logging in accidentally, and then my business is gone. Starting over is truly the scariest thing in the world. So, I mean, I feel for them because I've gone through it, but it's not a good feeling. Sellers are
Dan,
mad. You're speaking gigs. You have nothing.
You're one night in Mercado away from picking up a job at Chick-fil-A Mercado in Naples.
One more action point here for people to take away from is you go in your email. If you get an email notification from Instagram or Facebook, click on that email and make sure that email is legit. And Google that email, because it could even say support at Facebook and it could be a made up email. And they could say something like, hey, someone tried to sign to your account, put in your password to make sure that it's you. Then you put that password in and it's the hacker. So always check who's sending your email. But this is really sinister stuff, and it is destroying agents' careers. And I think they're going to get their accounts back, and we'll keep everyone posted as to, the process that everyone's taking. And, I think it's going to work out, but this is really, really awful.
There's a lot of layers to this. So I do believe this story is going to pop back up in the future because Instagram, Zucks, Facebook, you guys are doing a pathetic job at community control, of being able to control robots, of being able to control these scammers. I mean, it's just the truth. And you also have, this is a conspiracy, I guess, because I don't have if I had the hard evidence, I would show everybody that's on YouTube, but I don't have it. The conspiracy is that there are many people on the inside at Facebook or Instagram that you can pay to get a blue check. So this is like a side business for a lot of Meta employees, a lot of Facebook, Instagram employees, whatever you want to call them. They are running a racket, so to speak, where they are king making these blue checks with people that want to pay. Now, in full transparency, it's an investment that I think we may have to look into, to be quite honest, because to your point, Eric and Taya and Dan, Matt's business, Paige's business, my business, the broke agent, bam, all our business is tied to these accounts, right? So diversification is important, but also protecting the account that you've built up, and maybe investing in a blue check mark so this goes away is the way to do it. Maybe that's all part of the conspiracy. I don't know, but we're checking that one off for now and moving on. Dan, diabolical Dan with the camera. What is going on with the camera over there? If you're on YouTube, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's lost his marbles.
He's in and out. It looks like he's sitting in between his camera.
Oh my God! Give me.
If you're listening to the pod,
insane.
you've seen it now.
Legs.
At least you're not hearing as bad audio issues like last week. Okay, topic number 2. We've got 4 major Instagram updates. Let's run down them quickly, Eric, and what we need to know about them as real estate professionals.
Yeah, Instagram, as everyone knows, has been acting psychotic lately. Engagement is all over the place. I feel like follower accounts are jumping up, jumping down, duplicate accounts popping up. Instagram, whenever this happens, it's usually because they're updating the algorithm or updating the app. And these are the 4 major app updates as announced by Adam Mosseri, Instagram CEO, on June 7th. So you can now do 90-second reels. This will be good for storytelling, for longer listing videos, for agents want to create longer form content. I know Dan used to do a bunch of videos that were like 2-3 minute long skits. So this is good for him. I still think that sweet spot is, 8 to 15 seconds. So people could watch the entire video.
I'm hearing different now, but go ahead.
Well, you're wrong, because I heard from Brock 11 Johnson, Instagram coach, that is still the move. So usually when Instagram, changes, you want to do those and do the new features, but I don't know about 90-second reels yet. We'll test it out. The ability to pin posts. So now you can pin up to 3 posts on your profile. You don't necessarily want to do the post that is your most viewed. You want to use these kind of as like highlights. Maybe it's an introductory video about who you are, or your featured listings or something like that. So these are basically like Instagram highlights, except on your feed, which is great. And then Bobby, put that graphic back up. I'm still explaining it. And then you could also import audios from your camera roll. So instead of just using the audio from Spotify, you could actually import audio from your camera roll. So you can record audio on your phone or a song. So this is good for like pauses within the actual videos. And you could also add interactive features to your reels. So, you know, on Instagram stories, you could do votes and polls and quizzes and stuff. You could actually put these in your actual reel posts. So this will be great for engagement. All great updates, welcoming all of them. These have all been live on TikTok for years, and it's clearly just Instagram again trying to compete with TikTok. And they're doing a piss poor job at it if they're just kicking its best creators off the app.
Anything you can do to edit inside the app, like number 4, interactive features. Eric's talked about this for a long time. Try to use the app for your editing. Every time I go create mode, which Eric's talked about in the past in my stories, or just go a story, you know, a recording, face to camera, face to phone, whatever you want to call it. Those stories outproduce my other stories where I'm just sharing from the grid or whatever. Taya,
Yeah.
anything you want to add to this?
Yeah, I feel the same way. Anytime I'm just taking my camera and talking to it and putting the captions on there, the engagement and just the viewership on those stories is just, 3 times what it usually is. And lately, some of my success has been in what did we call it, Eric? Like trend hacking, where you
trend jacking.
hacking, whatever. I'm like, I'm still hearing the hacker word in my ear. And remember, I'm 40, so I'm like still trying to be.
Oh,
cool.
wow. 40 and off of Greece.
But, taking, for example, the Johnny Depp trial, right? Everyone was watching that. Everyone was following those hashtags, whether it be on Twitter or TikTok, whatever. And, to your point, talking about longer form video, one of my Taya's 2 cents videos has almost 25,000 views. That is insane. And it is an over 3-minute long video. I've never had that kind of viewership on a video before, ever. So I think that sticking to topics that are slightly controversial, that topics that are trending, having a strong opinion, I think is really important, because, you're going to get people who disagree with you. You're going to get people who agree with you, and focusing on what type of content is actually shareable. That's what's going to give you the virality.
Yeah, I like the strong opinion. We're skipping Dan. That's a strong opinion. Putting him in timeout on this topic.
Mid-rise is fired. Mid-rise, if you guys see this, you guys are super fired.
For all of his camera issues. Shout out to Mid-rise on Long Island. Somebody could pick them up now that Dan just fired them. Going to topic number 3, mortgage demand, something that will impact the market. Mortgage demand falls to its lowest level. So mortgage applications have fallen now to the lowest level in 22 years, down 7% in the last week and 21% from this time just a year ago. Mortgage Banker Association reported this. We wrote about it on BAM off of the CNBC article. We also did a BAM breaking on this. Taya, are you seeing a slowdown in buyers in your market? And what do you think this means for the future of the market?
Yeah, I think that, I'm just going to say it how I feel. I think everybody's a sheep. I get so annoyed when I'm watching Instagram or any sort of social platform, and you hear one person say the market's slowing down, and then everyone is like a parrot. And then it's like they want to sell fear. And it's like, listen, the last time I checked, at least in Los Angeles, the inventory is extremely low, historically speaking. Interest rates are still historically low. And the demand is still there. Are we getting 30, 40 offers on one property? No. But I have 2 listings right now that are below $2 million, and my phone is ringing off the hook. Yeah. I have people calling me saying, what's it going to take? We want to lock it down. How much over list do we need to come in at? So is the market slowing down? Sure. But I use this analogy. If you're on the highway and there's no, patrol officer, you're flying, right? You're going 100 miles an hour. As soon as you see a patrol officer, you slow down, and now you're going the speed limit, but you're still cruising. So are we still moving along? Yes, I think so. I'm just going to be a contrarian and say that I think the market is still strong. It's slower than it was, but we were going at an unprecedented rate that was not sustainable. Right. So I think that this is a welcomed slowdown, but by no means are we crashing and burning and sound the alarms. I think everybody is just buying into that clickbait.
Yeah, slowing down doesn't mean crash, but there is a slowdown. There is less home shoppers. The numbers are the numbers. Bobby, put up the couple of KCM charts. By the way, you can get these charts, try them out for free with the link below. Essentially, go to the one that we shared last week first. Okay, so these are the types of conversations, because Taya, you said, are we getting 30 to 40 offers anymore? No, we are not. The market has shifted and there are less buyers available. So when you're sitting down at the listing table and you're coming up with a price with the seller, this is a chart I'm talking to them about. Hey, lending standards are tight. If you look at when we had that rise in prices in 03, 04, 5, 6, the lending standards were loosey-goosey. Right now, they're very, very tight. So Taya's right. We are still, even at 5.5%, at a low interest rate historically, but we're at a time where the standards of which they will lend a mortgage to are tight. So I want to make sure my sellers educated on that data so that they can price their property at the right spot so that they can get 10 or 20 offers. 30 or 40 is off. But if we shoot too high, we're going to be looking at maybe one offer and we don't have a competitive environment. So I want them to know about that. And then the other chart, Bobby, that KCM shared just this past month was that the mortgage payments, okay? So we've got all this money that people have, this equity in their home right now. The payments, when they've refied, have been virtually unimpacted. So refis are down, but if you do refi, and this is off of Taya's point, if you do refi still, because of the amount of equity you have in your home, $207,000 on average per homeowner, your payment is almost virtually not impacted. If you look at 2020 and 20 and 21, and that's because of these still, even at 5.5% low interest rates. You can get these charts down below by hitting the link. Dan, in your market, Long Island, number one team there, are you seeing a slowdown right now?
Yeah, I would say it's more of a correction. And I don't think we should sound the alarms. There's no crash, but I personally put out 3 listings this week, and I could be shooting myself in the foot here, but all 3 listings, they wanted way more than what I put it out on the market for. So I had won that debate with my seller. But in all 3 instances, I only had 1 to 2 offers, and I was still able to get $75,000 to $85,000 over asking, really by bluffing. And I really hope these agents don't watch. But I was still able to get that number. But instead of having 10 to 15 offers, I only had 1 or 2. So a correction is definitely happening. There's less buyers, less showings. And I think now it's going to be a little bit, us as agents are going to have to put more effort into our listings and our sales. But it's interesting because for Long Island, a lot of our deals are move-up buyers, right? So people that took advantage of the 2 or 3% interest rates, they're not really able to do that now because their monthly payments can be much higher. The other aspect for Long Island is a lot of people are afraid of New York City prices. The median rent price right now is, I think, $5,000. So most people were coming out to Long Island and they didn't mind the 45-minute or hour commute. But now with these interest rates, people are still going to be spending that money in the city. But our Florida market, our Florida team, they're not seeing any slowdown.
Yeah. Florida is definitely its own monster right now, which it sounds like, where Taya's in LA, same thing.
Yeah.
The standard of the standard for the skill set for the listing agent, everybody wants listings, wants to control, wants to collect offers, not give offers, is going up. And that's a good thing, right? It's going up because the market is different than we saw in the last 2 years. You can't just hire your cousin, slap his sign out there and collect 30 offers anymore. You need somebody that really knows what they're doing, that's highly educated in their corner. If I'm on a listing appointment, I'm definitely showing the KCM charts. I'm definitely trying KCM. You can go to trykcm.com/BAM to get the most relevant topics, to have done for you content to share with your sellers. So hit that link, try that stuff out, be the knowledge broker, as Tom Toole loves to talk about. All right.
And Byron, too, like, to finish that, what I'm noticing now is you have to try harder with these listings. For the last 2 years, I'm going to, again, throw myself under the bus, kind of just put the listing out, maybe do a video, open house, sells itself. Now what I'm noticing is you have to actually be there. You have to be the one showing the house. You have to put a lot more time into the marketing and the strategy. So it's not just pictures and pray anymore. You really have to put that effort in. and be the knowledge broker. I went to 3 open houses as if I was a consumer this weekend. All 3 agents were hungover. They didn't know a thing about the house. They didn't know a thing about the market. So now I'm sitting there licking my chops because I know when a buyer's going to come to my open house, I know the area, I know the market. I'm surprisingly not hungover, and that's how I'm going to win that buyer over, and I'm going to get them as a client.
Surprisingly not. You must have been at the same club as them, though. You were sending them, bottles of 42, and then you were filling water in your bottle.
Yeah.
I mean, what was going on there?
Definitely was not doing that.
All right. Douglas Elliman, they just lost a big team, which made up, I think, almost 2%. No, the Alexander team sales accounted for 3.5% of Elliman's business in 2021. So their top brokers, the Alexander team, they have now launched their own brokerage called Official. They partnered with Side. Side is basically like a back end SaaS product, if you will. They're providing a service that teams have provided, that brokerages have failed to provide teams. And they're doing this at scale for different teams or indie brokerages. So if you're not familiar with Side, that's what they are. They're a white label firm. Side is how the Real Deal's describing them. So the exact Alexander team, New York, South Florida, Hamptons, Aspen, they've gone now backed by Side to start this company. They closed more than 1.8 billion in sales last year. Again, 3.5% of Elements, over $51 billion worth of business in 21. Dan, does this signal some type of shift? You wanted to talk about this, so what do you think?
I definitely think so. They are definitely the number 1 team with Element. I mean, the numbers that they put up are absolutely absurd. And they're probably the most interesting Instagram follow that you could possibly do as an agent, because every other day, these guys are on a yacht in Croatia. They are in Europe. They go to Greece for like 6 hours and come back. It is diabolical. But why I wanted to talk about it is because I really do think it's interesting that you see these teams. I mean, Sirhan just did it, right? He built his brand and then went off and did his own thing. And now there's a ton of other brokers who are doing the same, but they did start somewhere to build that brand like an Element. They did have their father in the business, but now they don't need Element anymore. They don't need to be paying those fees. They don't need that backing. Now it's the individual brand that is bringing in all of that business. Same thing with Sirhan. And I use Leonetti as a perfect example too, because the agency is doing a great job of seeing his talent and how much influence he has, and they're pushing him and they're helping him get to where he needs to be.
I gotta say, not a knock on Element at all, but agency, or not a knock on any brokerage, agency they're just doing a lot of things right. I just keep seeing them like over and over and over again make good, solid decisions. Just I don't know, just a little shout out to them.
They're making great PR decisions.
Yeah, they are.
And they're doing a great job at brand recognition on a global scale. And like Dan said, some of these agents and some of these teams get to a point where they step back and they go, do I need the brokerage or does the brokerage need me?
Yeah.
And so with the agency recognizing Matt's talent and his influence and really leaning into that and providing more value, I think that they're really listening to, I don't even think Matt is necessarily asking for that. I think they are being proactive in their effort to really lift him up. I think
I'll tell you what a big deal is with the agency being privately owned, being nimble is, I don't know. I mean, Taya, you're at Compass. I don't know if, with some of Compass's issues since going public, if there's been a, if you felt a change or maybe you haven't.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the culture is still the same. I really do. I mean, I love being an agent at Compass, and I've had brokerages like try and recruit me other places. So for me, I really feel comfortable. I utilize the tools, but I think that for agents who don't utilize the tools of their brokerage, if you don't have value in where you're going, then you are going to be like, should I start my own brokerage, or should I be independent, or should I go to one of these other places? For someone like me who actually uses the platform and actually uses the marketing tools and find value in that, I'm very comfortable where I'm at. And I haven't seen a big shift. But what I do like that the agency is doing is that they're not shying away from providing PR to individual agents. Compass is more like one of their values is collaborate without ego. So they're not really about focusing on one agent and highlighting that person. Whereas the agency, like, they're very Hollywood. You know, they're very LA. They want to be flashy. They want to put it out there and create, you know, these personas, celebrities, if you will, within their brokerage. And it's working for them.
Yeah. It's smart. I mean, especially in like an influencer world now. I mean, so we go back to Sirhan, that's a prime example. And you guys debated the reality TV subject 2 weeks ago. And from my side, coming from like a smaller boutique that is only on Long Island, I love the fact that it's a small boutique because they let me do whatever I want. And that's my favorite thing. But I also, I mean, and I would tell them to their face, and I always do. Sometimes I do wish that I was with a larger company, so that way I was afforded some of those opportunities. But it's everything in this business is, you know, give and take. So I think the agency is doing a great job, and I think that the Alexander team leaving is just another sign that it's really the individual brand as opposed to the company.
Yeah,
And this
the
ties
agency.
back to Instagram, you know, the importance
Yeah.
of Instagram. Sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
No, it does tie back into Instagram, but you know, to echo these points, they, you know, help Matt get speaking gigs. They have him speak on panels. They're posting him on his Instagram. They're doing collabs with Mauricio, who's the top guy there. Like, they are really pushing him and all their stars. It's fantastic to see. And I think, you know, Matt's really benefited from that too. And that's why he loves the agency.
And not to say, you know, because we started obviously talking about the Alexander departure from Element, not to say Element's not doing this, but I'm certainly Element's a much bigger company than the agency in terms of volume in production. I think it's somewhere around 5 times bigger. Agencies, I believe, around 10 billion or something like that, maybe 10 to 15 billion. These guys were over 50 billion. So Element's a much bigger company than agency, but agencies getting my attention at a much larger scale. So that's what I mean by the efficiency, making consistently right decisions, or I guess decisions that I would agree with. It's intriguing, the moves that they're making. I think they're doing it the right way. What do you guys think of the new name for the Alexander brokerage? Official scale of 1 to 10. Quickly, we'll go around here and then we'll check this one off. Dan goes with 0. Wow.
What's the name?
Official.
It's called Official.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend them, but like anytime someone has a name that's outside of who they are and it's so bland, I'm like, I'd rather just have it be their name. You know what I mean?
I love the name Alexander. It's my middle name.
Those guys are like the Winklevi twins. The Winklevi twins. The guys are all over the place.
That's why I'm not even afraid to say it. I'm not even afraid to offend them. They're on a
no, they don't give it. They don't give a crap about our opinion on their name. Are you kidding me?
They're going to take this and like repost it on Instagram.
No, they don't even know.
If the Alexanders are listening, I give you guys a 10 out of 10. Bring me on the boat. All right.
Dan and I are like,
take me to Greece.
Bring me on the boat.
All right, we'll check that one off. Let's go to our final topic, which is the great debate. Finally, the day has come where Ricky Carruth and I are going to do our debate on paid coaching versus free coaching. Danny Deals is going to moderate it. And Dan, I will tell you right now, you're about to get canceled off of that, because what your performance on this walkthrough and last week's walkthrough has got you on the hot seat for this.
I already have a new media team.
Can I just say, you guys look very handsome. Like, who created this JPEG? This is
that was Bobby. Bobby he's got a big smile. I can't even see him through the screen, but I know he's got a big smile.
The most attractive photo of both of these gentlemen.
Brian, you kind of look like Grant Cardone there.
Wow,
he's also attractive.
I hope a young Grant.
Yeah, I didn't even get that image, dude. Did you take that picture? You look really good. I look good too.
Yeah, perfect amount of.
So, what do I typically look like? Do I typically look like trash, or what?
You guys
what do we think?
Very official.
Yeah.
So how do you guys think Ricky's going to attack me here?
I think he's going to attack you by saying you're not a coach. I think that's probably his first attack, and saying like, why is this debate happening if I'm not debating a coach? But obviously, you have experience in coaching,
of course,
for years. So I think that might be his initial attack. But I can't wait for this.
I would attack back on that one. That technically he's not a coach either.
Well, while we're promoting it,
let's not get into our into your playbook.
Oh, I have such an extensive playbook. Like if I were to print this playbook out, you'd have to. Every page would be like if I were to give it to Danny Deals, it'd say Danny Deals across every page, because I would not want this to end up in the hands of my.
Like you're
it
a
is
direct,
so
like you're
thick.
M. Night Shyamalan or something, giving it to Ari Gold.
Exactly. Yes.
You have a Bill Belichick playbook. But
Yeah,
Byron, we should get Taya's thoughts on free versus paid coaching.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Taya?
Oh God, this is controversial because I mean, look, people ask me this all the time because I've been in the Tom Ferry ecosystem for years. I love Tom. I love Jason. I love the whole community. And I owe a lot of my, promotion and followers that have found me on Instagram because of a paid coaching ecosystem. So I actually feel like paid coaching is wonderful. It holds me accountable. It gives me, especially for being an entrepreneur, if you're not like OCD, micromanaging, and organized, you literally are like, going out into the open and you don't really have any structure as a new realtor. So I owe a lot of the skill set that I learned over the last decade to what I've learned from paid coaching. So I cannot stand here and say that paid coaching is not important. I think that it's very important for someone like me, who's more of an artist type, who needs, structure in order to be a successful entrepreneur. But that's just me.
So I can count on you in the comment section rooting me on then, Taya.
Yes.
Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, June the 14th, live at 5 on the Broke Agent Media channel. It was supposed to be hosted by Dan. We will, over the weekend, maybe do a trial run with Dan, see if he can.
I already have a new media team. I will be ready for Tuesday. And I will suspend myself from the walkthrough for 2 weeks because this is diabolical. So I agree, but I will be there Tuesday.
Dan,
suspension from the walkthrough. I will be there at the debate on Tuesday with
self-imposed sanctions here.
You have a Deshaun Watson year ban.
Oh, come on, man.
You are banned for a year. You are in Deshaun Watson territory with your performance on the walkthrough.
Yeah, I would use a different analogy.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Johnny Football or something signing footballs.
You have a
getting a half,
Eric.
Yeah, halftime against Duke or
Johnny
something like
Manziel.
that. Or
I like Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, who doesn't? What a legend.
He is a Johnny Football. All right. June 14th, this Tuesday, 5 p.m. live. Make sure you subscribe to the Broke Agent Media YouTube channel so you don't miss this debate. I have extensive plays that I will be running at and on Ricky Carruth. I'm sure he's got some plays of his own. We're going to have fun. This is a good topic of conversation for the industry, so I'm looking forward to everybody joining us there. Appreciate you guys. This is a long walkthrough, so I appreciate you guys sticking in. Dan, for the 15 minutes you were part of it, and
see you guys in a year.
Appreciate everybody who's been listening along. We'll see you guys next week. Check out those KCM charts for free down below. We'll see you guys next week.